marami pong paikot-ikot, some convoluted answers, prevarications. Alam po ninyo, kailangan mabilisan na lang ito eh. Mr. Chair, I think the success, even the extent of our hearing here will depend entirely on how they will answer our questions. I'm very frustrated simply because not only confusing answers na paikot-ikot, yung iba pa they are outright lies. For example, itong Atty Del Rosario, when I was asking him about the 100 million given to the Philippine National Red Cross, sasabihin niya sa akin, at dinig naman ninyo, he was not privy to the negotiations. Para bang hindi niya alam, may hawak akong dokumento that he is one among the 3 members of the panel. Ang kasama niya, Senior Vice President o Vice President Dr. Shirley Domingo at saka yung certain Mr. Oscar Cabado, Vice President for Membership, and Atty Del Rosario. Pagkatapos sasabihin niya sa atin, he was not privy to the negotiation between Philhealth and PNRC. Sino hindi mo po prostrate dito? Para bang hindi niya alam, I have even the pictures na nandun siya. Kausap niya yung aking kumpare, Senator Gordon. Wala akong sinasabing masama tungkol sa PNRC. I'm only establishing the facts na nandun siya. Pero sasabihin niya sa atin, sa mukha natin, na magsisinungaling siyang ganon. Si Dr. Pargas naman, ikaw naman, tinanong ko lang kung magkano yung aking contributions. O after 2 days, kung hindi pa kita tinext, hindi mo ibibigay sa akin. How can you do this? Yung Manila doctors, nangako ka sa akin. Hanggang kayo, nandito ba? Are we getting the right answers from you? Yung isa naman, tinanong kita tungkol sa expanded withholding tax. I cannot remember kung sino na dito. I guess kayo po na nandyan sa... You were telling us pure lies. Ang sabi mo, yung mga health care institutions are the ones paying the expanded withholding tax. Di ba? You were collecting 2% expanded withholding tax. Hindi totoo yun eh. It was Philhealth itself, because Philhealth is the only withholding agent of the BIR. Hindi yung healthcare institutions. Okay? Magkano ang binayad ng Philhealth? Sinabi na rin ng pagtatanong ni Congressman Barbers, 156.7 million. Kayo ang nagbayad. Pagkatapos, magsisinungaling kayo. Ano makukuha namin na mabuting sagot kung ganito ang gagawin ninyo? Ang sabi ni Dr. Atty Del Rosario, isa lang ang departamento. Parang hindi niya alam, may dokumento ako, 4 ang departamento niya. May I start with you, Atty Del Rosario, nandiyan ka ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Can I comment on some points raised by the honorable?
You have no right. Tinatanong ko lang kung nandiyan ka pa.
Thank you, sir. Andito po, Mr. Chairman.
Magpaikot eh. And I warn you, kung ano lang tinatanong ko, yun ang sagutin mo. Huwag kang magpapaikot dito. I think, Mr. Chair, we should already advise them that right now, we're working on a complaint for plunder, malversation, and charges of administrative offenses and so many things. And the final form of this complaint will depend much entirely on the kind of answers that you will give us. Atty Del Rosario, hindi ba ikaw ang Regional Vice President ng Region 1? Nung
Yes, sir.
220 cases against hospitals and doctors were forwarded to your office. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. I was once
Yes
the
or no?
regional vice president. Yes, I was once regional vice president of Philhealth, Region 1.
In 2019, nung hindi na ikaw ang Senior Vice President, teka muna, you were asked to file 220 cases. Ilan ang pinail mo?
I'm sorry, Mr. President. The ones filing the cases.
I am
is the
asking you,
legal-
out of the 220 cases endorsed to your office, how many cases did you file?
The regional vice president is not the one filing cases, Mr. President. It's the legal office of the region that files the.
Atty Del Rosario, I'm warning you, I have documents with me. Huwag mo akong paikutin. I don't care if you're the best lawyer in this country. Pero sa ngayon, sagutin mo lang ang tinatanong ko sa iyo. Because in 2019, nung hindi na ikaw ang senior vice president, ito ang lumitaw. Only 3 cases were filed versus St. Catherine Hospital. Totoo hindi.
I don't have the data. As I've told you, Mr. President, the one filing the cases then
What do
was
you know? Palaging paikot-ikot eh. Ikaw ang binigyan ng SPA. Do you want me to show the document that you were given an SPA by then interim President and CEO de la Serna to file appropriate criminal, civil, and administrative cases? For example, against several culprits. This is dated November 2, 2017. Hindi mo aaminin ito?
Mr. President, Mr. Chair, that particular.
I am asking you, do you know about this SPA?
I've known that SPA only of late, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. I've not seen that that particular document was forwarded directly to the.
I am asking you
unit.
if you know this because this is an SPA issued to you by interim President CEO de la Serna, dated November 2, 2017. I have the documents with me.
Yes, sir. I've already seen that document, but I cannot remember seeing that document in 2017, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
There was even an endorsement dated 13 September 2017 for the filing of criminal and administrative case against a certain Dr. Martin Corpus. You know this document, don't you?
I've seen that document only recently.
Do you know this document? I'm not asking you whether or not you saw the document.
Yes, Your Honor.
Paikot-ikot ka. Ito, Mr. Chair, ang problema sa taong ito eh. Despite all this, SPA endorsement, 220 cases endorsed to your office since you were acting Regional Vice President of Region 1. Wala kang ginawang pinail na kaso kahit isa. For example, it was also disclosed, nung mawala ka na sa Region 1, 11 cases are missing. 10 cases versus Elguira General Hospital. 1 case against Dr. Macario Macaraeg. You deny this?
I'm not aware of that, Mr.
Oh,
President.
yan ka na naman. You remember, I have all the documents. I don't care if you remember or you don't remember. That's your problem.
Session resume.
Oh, para hindi ka naman, baka mamaya magmalingger ka na naman, ano? Meron kang memorandum number 2018-14. You directed each and every provincial regional office to file at least 1 complaint per quarter. Itong memong ito'y ginawa mo, Atty. Del Rosario, after certain operational audits, fact-finding investigations, nakalagay sa memo mo that there are certain facilities and professionals that are acting against the interest of the Philhealth Fund. Kaya ang ginawa mo, gumawa ka ng memorandum, you ask all the regional offices to determine and ascertain those people, those culprits, identify all them. Parang ang ganda, no? To protect the interest of the Philhealth Fund. What is the reason why you gave them a quota of only 1 criminal case per 1 quarter? What is the logic for making or putting a quota or any limitation?
Sir, that quota is the minimum. Kasi napansin ko po nung pag-assume ko dito that ever since Philhealth was created, there were only 11 complaints, criminal complaints filed. And I reviewed the cases, and all the criminal complaints were filed by the central office. So there was actually a confusion whether who will file the criminal complaints. So I issued that memorandum, but at the same time, I recognize the limitations of the regions pertaining to their capacity to process all these cases.
Attorney
that's
Del
why-
Rosario,
Yes, sir.
alam niyo po dito sa session, si Congressman Marcoleta, Congressman Barsaga, hindi na po dapat sila nagpupunta rito because of the COVID. The least you could do, Attorney Del Rosario, while conducting Zoom, at nandyan naman po kayo sa Zoom, i-on nyo naman po yung video nyo para nakikita kayo ni Congressman Marcoleta habang nag-interpolate siya.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Kahit hindi ko na siya nakikita, Mr. Chair, mas okay pa sa akin eh. Importante lang sa akin, sagutin niya ng matino yung tinatanong ko. So ang sinasabi mo, Attorney Del Rosario,
Yes, sir.
ikaw pa lang nag-determine. Gaano ka kasigurado na yung determination mo that's only one filing of one case per quarter, yun ang tama to protect the interests of Philhealth? Bakit naman?
That's the minimum, Mr. Chair.
Sino nagsabi sa yung minimum?
Sir,
Who told
kasi,
you?
sir,
Who instructed you to give that minimum? Why not 5? Why not 10?
Kasi yung ano ko kasi, sir, during that time, wala pong
No.
napapahal.
Sinong nagsabi sa'yo, who gave you the guideline na kinakailangan isang kaso lang per quarter? Can you imagine? One filing of case for 3 months? Sino ka para i-determine mo sa sarili mo na yun ang minimum? Why work for the minimum? Why not maximize the opportunity of being able to determine all those culprits in order to defend and protect the funds of Philhealth? Huwag ka na mga twira ng kung ano-ano. So, ikaw pa lang nagdi-determine. Yung pa lang mabuti sa Philhealth. That is the way to protect the funds of Philhealth. Kailangan isa lang na case ang i-file in 3 months' time.
Mr. Chairman,
Hindi ko alam kung anong logic meron ka, attorney, ha?
Mr. Chair.
Teka muna, I'm not asking you anything.
Okay, sir. Proceed, sir. Sorry.
Doon sa PhilHealth Circular, dito makikita natin, Mr. Chair, siyang nagdi-determine, ha? Wala kang sinabi na ang board ang nag-advise sa'yo. Not even the board, not even the EXICOM. Only one person, Mr. Chair, has the power to determine kung sino at ilan ang ipapile na case. Sus Maria Joseph na buhay ito. Doon sa PhilHealth Circular 2020, balikan natin yan, 0007. Merong effectivity doon eh. Napansin ko lang kagabi nung nire-review ko to eh. Do you know the effectivity of that particular circular, Atty. Del Rosario?
If I remember it right, I think it's March 20 or 21, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Narinig mo yung sagot, Mr. Chair? Why did you say it took effect on March 31?
21 yata, 21 po yata. I don't have the document right now, Mr. President. Mr.
Wala ka
Chair.
palang dokumento. Bakit sinasabi mong March 31 what? What year? 2020?
Sir, are you referring to the IRM circular, Mr. Chair?
I am talking about PhilHealth Circular 2020. Ito yung IRM. COVID-19 ito.
Oh.
Kabisado mo ito eh. Bakit mo sinabing March 31, 2020 ang effectivity? Why?
Hindi, sir. Ang sabi ko, sir, ang alam ko March 20 or March 21.
Ang sinasabi ko sa iyo, merong effectivity itong circular na to. Ang tanong ko sa iyo, do you know when did this PhilHealth circular take effect?
I think nakalagay po dyan, effective immediately, Your Honor.
So hindi mo kabisado?
I'm not
You
sure
tell
about
me,
the
I will
date.
help you. Hindi mo kabisado?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, it takes immediately from its publication in a newspaper of general circulation and take note, 3 copies, certified copies, to have been furnished to the Office of the National Administrative Register of the UP Law Center. When did you or PhilHealth furnish the Office of National Administrative Hospital of UP? When? When did Honor of UP Law Center receive the 3 copies from PhilHealth?
Sir, it's not my office that is in charge of that. So maybe we can ask the sector in charge.
Maybe ka na naman eh. You are the Executive Vice President ng legal sector. You have worked for PhilHealth for 20 years or so. Pati lang itong effectivity, ito na naman, paikot-ikot ka na naman. Alam mo ito eh. Do I need to tell you or give you the document? Ako mismo ang ang nag-search eh.
Sir, during the Senate hearing, it was mentioned that it was only in June that PhilHealth provided copies to the Honor.
So what day in June? What day in June?
If I remember it right, it's June 11, yung document shown by Senator Lacson.
Alam mo na yun eh. Magmamali ka pa eh. June 11, hindi 7.
June
Do I
11
need to correct you every time?
I said June 11, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So ngayon, alam natin, ito palang IRM took effect legally June 11, 2020. So what happened to the funds that you disbursed prior to this date? What?
Sir, it appears that the requirement of the circular was not satisfied as to the requirement to furnish the Honor.
What kind of answer is that? Are you a lawyer? Talaga ba lawyer ka? June 11, nung magkaroon ng kopya ang Honor of the UP Law Center. Meaning to say, doon lang nag-take effect yung inyong yung circular 2020-0007. Alright? Ang tinatanong ko sa iyo, what happened to the funds disbursed prior to this date? Let's say March, April, May, and June 10. What happened to those funds?
Sir, it would appear that those funds were not released based on the prerequisites set by the circular on the publication and the furnishing of copies to the Honor.
What? Can you speak better than that? Do you have a better explanation than that? Napakasimple ng tanong ko eh. Ano ngayon ang mangyayari doon sa pondo na nirelease ninyo prior to the effectivity of this circular?
So it is without authority, it would appear, Mr. Chair.
Anong sabi niya?
Without authority.
Oh, so walang authority. Now what happens to you now? To all of you?
Illegal.
O illegal? Okay. Mabuti yan nagsasabi ka na ng totoo ngayon.
Ako yun. Ako nagsabi nun. Honorable Marcoleta.
Ah, ikaw ba?
Oh, pasagutin natin sila.
Do you agree to the statement of the chairman? Illegal. Oh, hindi na makasagot.
Are you asking me? Yes, Mr. I agree with the chairman.
Illegal, di ba? Illegal na.
It is not. It did not comply with.
Tinatanong lang kita, illegal na, di ba?
Yes, I agree, Mr. Chairman.
Simple. Atty Del Rosario, simple lang po sagot. Illegal po ba? Hindi.
Yes, I agree. I agree, Mr. Chair.
Ano sagot, Mr. Chair?
Sabi niya, yes, I admit, I am pretty certain. Is that correct?
I agree with the chairman that it's illegal. Yes.
Oh.
Was that properly recorded, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Honorable Marcoleta, it was on record.
Thank you. Atty Del Rosario, bilang isang napakahusay na abogado, ikaw ba naniniwala na ang COVID-19, alam mo siguro yung COVID-19, hindi ba? Alam mo ba yung COVID-19, Atty. Del Rosario?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Kailangan makasiguro tayo, Mr. Chair. Masyadong madulas ito eh. Is COVID-19 can be considered a fortuitous event within the meaning and objectives of Philhealth Circular Number 2020-007. Huwag kang sasagot ng hindi mo naintindihan. Within the meaning and objectives of Philhealth Circular 2020-007, can COVID-19 be considered a fortuitous event?
I think my opinion on the matter, Mr. Chair, is that the fortuitous event is the pandemic caused by the COVID-19 infections, Mr. Chair.
Atty. Del Rosario, kung alam mo nasa courtroom lang tayo, ako ang judge, baka pinalabas na kita eh. Tinatanong lamang kita eh, kung within the meaning and objectives of your own circular, kung makukonsider mo bilang isang mahusay na abogado na fortuitous event ito, you can refer to your circular kung gusto mo. Kabisado mo ito kaysa sa akin. Kung ngayon ko lang nabasa ito eh. Paano ka namang hindi masusuya sa ganitong klaseng mga sagot na? Naniniwala ka ba na ito makaklasify na fortuitous event?
Yes, sir. I think that's the intention of the
O
corporation.
yun ang paniwala mo, hindi ba? So, nakalimutan mo, second paragraph nung rational nung Philhealth Circular, sinasabi ang ganito. Act of God, like floods, typhoons, di ba? Wars, gera, to effect displacement of communities in several endangered areas. So dito makikita, yung fortuitous event has the capacity to displace a community. Merong physical ano ito eh, merong physical attribute ito, displacement of communities. Under objectives nakalagay, to provide aid to healthcare institutions in rebuilding their critically damaged healthcare systems. Physical ang pinag-uusapan dito eh. Pagkatapos, hiningam ka pa ng description or photo of the effects of fortuitous event. Nakikita mo ba yung COVID-19? Atty. Del Rosario? Do you see the enemy?
No, sir. Only the effects.
May kinakailangan ng photo rito eh. Paano mo lilitratuan si COVID-19? Hindi mo nga nakikita eh. Pagkatapos, nandun pa, explicitly mention if majority of the claims under the HCI's custody were totally destroyed. Anong ibig sabihin? These are collection of words and phrases that denote that something was damaged, physically damaged. Kaya nga kailangan yung IRM eh. Kaya kanina tinatanong kita kung klasifikado nga na fortuitous event. Yes, sir lang ng yes, sir. Pero hindi mo naintindihan ang sarili mong circular. Bakit nagsinungaling ka sa akin nung sabihin mo na you are not privy to the negotiation between PNRC and Philhealth?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The negotiation, na pumunta po kami doon, kausap namin si Senator Gordon, it does not pertain to the amount of the mobilization fund. Ang pinag-usapan po namin dito doon, Mr. Chair, ay yung proseso kung paano makatulong yung Philhealth doon sa pagpapabilis ng pag-submit ng documents ng Red Cross for liquidation. Hindi po yung usapan po doon tungkol sa tungkol sa amount ng mobilization fund. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sa palagay mo ba, kapanipaniwala yung sagot mo sa akin? Hindi ba totoo na tatlo kayo rito? Nasa akin ang dokumento, attorney.
Yes, sir. Nandun po kami, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Kung pipilitin mo na magsinungaling ka pa, nasa sayo yun. Okay? Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa iyo kanina, the final form of this complaint for plunder, malversation, and so on and so forth will depend on the kind of answers that you will give this joint committee. Kasama mo si Legal o Vice President Shirley Domingo and Mr. Cabado, the Vice President for Membership. Noong inegotiate ninyo, kayo ang panel. Pagkatapos, directly magsisinungaling ka sa amin.
Yes sir, we negotiated, but ano yun sir, yung dinidiscuss namin yung proseso, hindi po yung amount po ng mobilization. The amount of mobilization sir, ano po yun top level negotiation po yun. So
Gaano katap yung level?
Pumunta po kami doon, hindi naman si Senator Gordon po yung intention namin kausap, yun lamang po mga staff, yung gagawa po ng mga forms. Tapos nakita lang po kami ni Senator Gordon kaya po kami tinawag. So hindi po yun yung negotiation.
Maglubid ka ng buhangin kung gusto mo. Pero ang sinasabi ko rito, yung 100 million is a clear deviation from the objectives and parameters set forth in your own PhilHealth circular. Because, ang sinasabi ko sa'yo, sa aminin mo't hindi, wala namang historical claims ang PNRC. So, kailangan explain mo sa amin ano ang basis ng 100 million? Sapagkat akala ko ba, kasi dito lumilitaw, Mr. Chair, yung paggastos, yung pagwaldas ng pera ng PhilHealth, walang patumangga, walang protection. Kaya kapag tatanungin mo sila, ano bang basis nito? Anong guideline dito? Bakit ginamit ninyo yung COVID-19 circular pagkatapos wala namang claims dito? Wala namang i-rebuild, wala namang facilities na gagawin. But you earmark 100 million for PNRC. That's only the point. I wanted to establish kapag ang pinag-uusapan, paggasta, mabilis, walang patumangga. Mr. Chair, PhilHealth as one institution forgot one thing, na itong perang ito, hindi sa kanila. They keep the money in trust. They have that fiduciary responsibility to protect this trust. Alam mo, Atty. Del Rosario, yung pera mo, kung po-protectionan mo yun, okay lang kasi pera mo yun Pero ito, kung kinakailangan triplihin mo o sampuhin mo ang pangangalaga sa perang ito, that is the requirement of a fiduciary responsibility. Do you agree or not?
We agree, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yun ang gusto naming standard sana Hindi ganun Hindi ganun. Mr. Chair, may I direct my questions to other panels? Sino po kaya ang pwedeng sumagot dito?
I would think Dr. Pargas would have a hand on that, on the 100 million ceiling for Philippine National Red Cross. Yun po yung tanong ng Honorable Marcoleta. Sino nagrekomenda ng 100 million at bakit ibibigay? Dr. Pargas.
Mr. Chair, Attorney Labe will respond on that.
Attorney Labe.
Mr. Chair, good afternoon. I'm not privy to the 100 million, but I